Hey everyone, my name is Courtney Budzyn and this is Whatsfordin. Today I'm going to show you how to make Mountain Man breakfast. Now just because it says breakfast doesn't mean that you can't have it for dinner. Like me, I'm gonna have it for dinner today, but it's really good. It's one of my favorite breakfast recipes out there. And I actually learned this because a guy at work brought this in and it was so delicious and I didn't know what it was, but I tried my best to recreate it. So here's my recreation of that. So let's go over the ingredients and we'll get started. So you're just gonna need some extra virgin olive oil, just a little bit, some bacon and sausage. This is just regular breakfast sausage. I just chopped up into small pieces. Onion, red pepper, green pepper, garlic, some chopped up potatoes. I just cubed them, some cheddar cheese, and of course eggs, salt, and pepper. So I should mention that you also need a Dutch oven. And this is the one that I have here. It's just a small one and it has a ceramic lining to it. If you don't have a Dutch oven, that's fine. You just need a pan with high sides that you can put in the oven. That would work fine. But Dutch ovens are probably your best bet, only because the heat is perfectly balanced all around the entire dish. And so it just comes out cooked thoroughly and just tasting a lot better. So let's go over to the stove and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to start by cooking my sausage and bacon on the stove. The reason I like to do this is so that if there's a lot of fat that comes out, I like to drain it because I don't want all that fat absorbing into everything because it's already fattening enough. So in my pan, or my Dutch oven I should say, I'm going to just put a little bit of olive oil just so that this stuff doesn't stick. Okay, our meat's in. So we're just going to cook this until it's fully cooked and then we're going to drain out the fat that renders. And in the meantime, start preheating your oven to 375 degrees. All right, so our bacon and sausage is pretty much cooked. You can see the crispiness of the bacon. So I'm gonna drain all this fat and oil into this cup. Whoa. Okay. So I'm just going to add all of my vegetables. So my green pepper, my red pepper, try not to get it all over the place, my onion, and my garlic. And I kind of just like to give it a head start on the stove. Like I said before, Dutch ovens stay really hot. So I like to just mix this together and cook these down just slightly. And kind of scrape all the bits off the bottom of the pan. That'll give it a lot of flavor as well. So let this cook for a couple of minutes. Okay, so now that this is cooking a little bit, I'm going to add in some seasonings. So just my salt, not too much because the meat tends to be salty. Pepper. And my hubby says, don't forget the cayenne. So I got to put cayenne in it. All right, so my vegetables are slightly softened. That's about where we want it. I don't want to cook it fully right now because we're going to add layers. So real quick, I'm just going to kind of scrape down the sides. And with your spoon, just kind of press down all of that good stuff because this is our first layer, is the meat and vegetable layer. Okay, now over top of that, we're going to put our potatoes. Try to even out that layer as best you can. Just taking my hand very carefully and pushing it down. Because our potatoes need salt, so we're going to add some salt to it, quite generously. And pepper. Okay. And now we're going to put the lid on this and put it in the oven until our potatoes are almost done, so you can put a fork in them. It was in there for about a half an hour. Woo! Our potatoes should be fork tender by now. Let's just take a fork and test it. Oop, that one kind of... Perfect. So the next step we're going to do, and you can skip this step, but my husband likes a lot of cheddar cheese, so I'm going to add a cheese layer to this before I add my egg. So I'm just going to do a little bit of cheese. Okay. And then over top of that, I'm going to put my eggs in here. And I just scrambled up some eggs. So let's season the eggs. A little bit of salt. Cayenne, of course. Pepper. You don't have to use anything but salt and pepper, but I like to use some seasonings and a little bit of Italian seasoning because you know I can't get enough of it. Scramble it up. And then we're going to pour this directly over top of the potatoes. Okay. And then we're going to put this in the oven with the lid off until those are cooked and they puff up, and then we'll put more cheese on it and yada yada. All right, now that our eggs are almost all the way cooked, I'm going to add some cheese to the top. Okay, and then put this right back in the oven, just enough to melt the cheese. All right, it's out of the oven. The cheese is nice and melted on top. It smells so good in here. If only you could smell how amazing it smells in here. I would usually let this cool for a little while, but I'm way too hungry. I'm not gonna wait. So if it falls apart, that's why. So I'm just gonna scoop up. Whoop. So you can see all the layers. Ooh, doggy. I'm just gonna put a little bit of fresh parsley on top. And of course, sour cream. Now, you can put hot sauce, you can put whatever you want, you can put salsa, but I like sour cream on mine. Oh man. The potatoes have like this smoky flavor that's been steamed into them from the meat. Don't even need a campfire. Well, thank you for spending time with me. Hopefully you enjoyed this recipe if you recreated it. Follow me on Instagram and please subscribe to my channels for many more recipes to come. Thanks again for watching. Bye.